So welcome to Tool Tuesday, the short little segment that we talk about a tool or product that I enjoy using in the shop. So I've been thinking about making this little segment of just talking about some kind of tool or something that I enjoy using in the shop. Kind of like watching that kind of stuff because I like seeing whatever the people like because it may be something I need. So that's why I decided to do this, to maybe show you something that you hadn't seen before that would be useful for you. So we'll kick these off, and if y'all like them, I'll keep doing them. So we're going to kick this one off with a Pitman arm puller because I'm about to use it. Now on these, we may just talk about a tool, or I'm going to try to keep these short. So we may talk about them, or I may use them, show you using them, but probably most of them I'll just tell you about them because, like I said, we're going to try to keep these short. So first thing we're going to talk about is this OTC Pitman arm puller. Now if you know normal Pitman arm pullers, they normally look about like that. And I have broken no telling how many, and I'm not talking about just cheap ones. I've broken, I think it was either a Snap-on or a Mac, and I've, different, I think I've bought one at a parts store. I don't remember if that was KB Tools or what, but it was not a cheap tool. I've broken a bunch of them, and to be honest, I started just buying the cheap Harbor Freight ones and just breaking them when I broke them, trying not to break them, but I didn't really see that others were holding up any better than those. But ran across this guy, and this thing is a beast. I have used it on Pitman arms and ball joints and all kinds of stuff, and it works phenomenal. And I'm about to pull a Pitman arm on here, so I'll set y'all up and show y'all using it real quick. But it is just a beefy chunk of metal. It slips on. So far I haven't had any issues getting it on, but I'm sure there's some that it probably would not fit. Maybe if you've got a really beefy Pitman arm or a really tiny one, I could see maybe where this wouldn't work. But for the most part, it should fit most. Or if you've got one that's got just no clearance to get this thing in here. But it's definitely a good tool to have, and I don't recall how expensive it is, but I don't recall it being that much. But the right tool, in the right situation is worth, the investment. That's my theory. So let's set this thing up, and I'll show you using it real quick. I'll try to find this thing. I think I bought it on Amazon. I bought this years ago, and like I said, it's held up well. I haven't had any issues with it. I've put a lot of torque on it. But I'll try to find it and put a link in the description if you want to pick one of these up. I think that is the part number for it. It's 522088, and again, it's an OTC, just made really well. And I don't know if it's made in USA, no idea. But it is just this thing is hefty. It is a big chunk of metal. So let's set it up. I'll show you using it. Okay, so loosen this thing off some. And so I've got the nut loose. This nut on this Lincoln is 1 5/16 inches. So I've got it loosened off, but not all the way off. And we're gonna slip this over, back this off. This one looks like it's gonna fit perfect. And we're gonna tighten this up. We've got it centered. And I take my impact. And this thing's got a 7/8 end on it. And we give it the beans. So it looks like we're not making much progress, but it is slowly turning. The downside to this Pitman arm puller is that, so normally the way I found to save my cheap ones was to, you know, they're encapsulated on each side, and so I would get them tight and then I would hit the Pitman arm. You really can't do that on this one, since it is covered in the back, but, you know, it does a pretty good job of just doing it. We may have to crank the air pressure up on the regulator. Really give our impact some air. All right, we're up to 130 psi. Let's see what it'll do. And most people probably run 120, you know, whatever their compressor tops out at. Mine, I do run a regulator, and I try to keep it around 100 psi. And I'll bump it up if I need to. So, you can see how stuck that one was. It's a pretty powerful impact here. And, you know, it wouldn't do it at 100 psi. But, pulled it off 130. And no issues with the puller. Held up well. So that's going to do it for this first Tool Tuesday. Try to find a link for one of these and put it in the description. So thanks for watching. Leave a comment down below if you've got a Pitman arm puller you like, or if you've got experience with this one, or if you've broken Pitman arm pullers, if you've had Pitman arm that you couldn't even get off, whatever. I've had one before I had this tool. I had to take a cut-off wheel and slice the Pitman arm to get it to open up. I think I sliced it and then ran a chisel through it to kind of help spread it, and I got it off. So I've had a rough time with Pitman arm. So this tool's great. And don't forget to hit that like button. It really helps the channel out. And of course, if you want to see more on this Lincoln, subscribe for more.